Anthony Joshua has become one of the biggest personalities in world boxing, but his persona broke in a frustrated outburst. After his second consecutive defeat to Oleksandr Usyk in their Saudi Arabia rematch, AJ took hold of the microphone and uncharacteristically moaned about his struggles inside and outside the ring, before angrily tossing his rival's belts over the top ropes, which attracted widespread criticism. The former two-time world champion explained at the time that he was overcome with emotion and issued an apology for his actions, which was captured in footage. But fans and experts alike have decided to suggest it was symbolic of a deeper meaning for his boxing career. In a new interview with infamous journalist, Joshua sat down and discussed incidents like this further but was left unhappy. It has been a tough period for Joshua in recent times, who looked to be back on track after losing to Andy Ruiz Jr. but stumbled across undefeated mandatory challenger Oleksandr Usyk. The incredibly slick and technically gifted Usyk came into the Lions' Den at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and dismantled Joshua, who came under fire for his performance, including for his footwork and lack of aggression. He didn't give up and immediately set about trying to get his revenge by securing a lucrative Saudi Arabia rematch. The fight unfolded in a very similar pattern to the first, despite Joshua changing trainer, with Usyk able to box his way to a split decision victory, despite the Briton managing to pile on a bit more pressure and put in an improved display. It was a frustrating defeat for the ex-champion, who knew he would be the furthest away from the world title reckoning that he has been since the early days of his time in the professional ranks. Stories have since emerged of unrest in Joshua's camp at the time, including one from Carl Frock, who heard a story about the first meeting. But what unfolded after the final bell had sounded stunned the world, with Joshua visibly distressed before deciding to toss the belts out of the ring which belonged to his rival. This was seen as disrespectful by many, with a lack of sportsmanship. But his outburst wasn't done yet, as he grabbed the microphone and went on a lengthy rant while also getting in the face of Usyk. It was extremely clear that emotions were just too much for Joshua on the night, with the consequences of a second consecutive defeat bearing huge weight on his shoulders. Joshua later issued an apology for his uncharacteristic surge in a press conference, during which he burst into tears and even confronted a bystander. Boxing can be a cruel sport, and it was clearly time for AJ to rebuild with a new mindset and respond to the idea of less pressure on his name. The issue of Joshua's crazy outburst after the fight just refuses to leave him behind, and it was once again brought up by journalist Louis Theroux as part of their BBC documentary. The subject was brought up to Joshua, who began explaining exactly what he had done wrong. But Theroux quickly decided to interrupt him, which prompted an abrupt response from the fighter, who was agitated with the line of questioning.